Well, we are here in New York City with our Los Angeles Dodgers. This is the new Citi Field Plaza in Flushing, New York, where the Mets play. The Dodgers will be taking on the Mets for 3 games, and we are joining them. And we got some very big news of our own last night. Our second baseman, Orlando Hudson, will be joining Joe Torre, Jonathan Broxton, and Chad Billingsley at the All-Star game in St. Louis. I caught up with the O-Dog, who talks about being an All-Star and playing with a few as well.
You're going to the All-Star game. Let's just talk about this game for a minute. Just about everybody got hit, and everyone's doing really well.
Yeah, it's a great game tonight. The mighty Mets are a little banged up, but they're still a great team. You still got to respect them. Still got to come here and play these guys hard because they got a great lineup, good defense, great pitching. So tonight, Kershaw threw a hell of a game.
What's sort of going on with the cohesiveness of this group, though? It's everybody's just kind of going together, and everyone's just doing their part.
You know what, though? Is great chemistry in the clubhouse, great chemistry on the field, and tell you what, when you got a manager like Mr. Torre, you can't help but play good and relax, you know what I'm saying? So right now things are going great for us. Still got a long way to go. Only 5 more games before the break, but still a lot of baseball left.
Speaking of the break, you and Mr. Torre are going to be together in St. Louis for a little All-Star game.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's my second one. The first one was unbelievable, so I know this is going to be great too. But I'm looking forward to it.
Do you have time to take it all in? I mean, it must be such a blur because there's so much going on there.
Well, you know what? The first one, I didn't have time to take it in because I was on a team with Ken Griffey Jr. and Barry Bonds and I was had Derek Lee and, oh, my goodness, name them all, David Wright, just Hall of Famers playing with the future Hall of Famers, And I'm looking forward for the same one this year. It's gonna be a blast.
Thanks, Orlando. Now, did you know the Dodger Stadium is now one of the oldest ballparks in the country? But here at Citi Field, this is definitely one of the newest. Let's take a look around. Here in New York, fans and players enjoy one of the newest ballparks in the country, Citi Field.
We came from Shea Stadium, which served its purpose in its day, but its time had sort of come and gone. That whole multi-use circular design really wasn't ideal for baseball, nor even for football when it was used by the Jets. So we were very excited for the opportunity to design a true ballpark, one that was going to be specific for baseball and optimal for our fans. And we started with a great design inspiration, which was Ebbets Field in Brooklyn. And we wanted to bring sort of the charm that Ebbets Field had, but also all the modern amenities and comforts for today.
You still have the apple that pops up.
Yes. It's funny. There was some debate about the apple. And we did a survey, and our fans voted overwhelmingly that we had to have an apple here. So we brought the original apple, and we have it on display in one of our bullpen gate plaza area. And we have this beautiful new apple, which is a really big apple.
I ask you also about the Jackie Robinson Rotunda. Where was the inspiration for that? It's amazing.
Fred Wilpon grew up in Brooklyn and very close with the Dodgers. Used to throw a batting practice for the Dodgers. The Dodgers actually wanted to sign him as a pitcher out of high school, but his parents insisted that he go to college. So he had a very close relationship with the Dodgers, worked at Ebbets Field, actually had a locker in their locker room and was friendly with the Robinson family. And, our feeling was that Jackie Robinson, all he meant not only to baseball, but really to the country, and what a trailblazer he was, and how significant that event was in our history, and the fact that it happened in New York and happened with the Dodgers, and we consider the Dodgers, along with the Giants in New York, to be part of our heritage. We felt it was appropriate to honor him, and we worked very closely with the Robinson family in the design, and Rachel was very closely involved in the process. And you probably saw when you went into the rotunda, it's not really baseball-centric. It's really about Jackie Robinson, the person, the American icon, the civil rights leader. There are very few images in there of him in uniform, and when he is in uniform, he's generally in there with his teammates and with the Dodger name. And we've caught some heat about having Dodger references there. But our feeling is it's really about Jackie Robinson and not necessarily about the Dodgers. And, we are, the successors to the Dodgers and the Giants, and we take that very proudly because the New York National League history in New York is, it's longer and better than the American League history.
And Also for the fans, we noticed that you've got areas where there's shopping and restaurants, and I mean, it's really number one. I mean,
Thank you. We wanted, the terms that we hear from people who are here that really give us a lot of encouragement is terms like intimate and inviting, welcoming, and we wanted this ballpark to be all that, and we designed it, this size and scale because we wanted every seat to be a good seat. We have these beautiful open concourses. We have full 360 degree on the field level, so people can walk around, but because it's all open, they stay connected to the game even as they walk around and enjoy the building. And you'll see during the game, especially on this field level in the back, towards that bridge where people are already congregating, there's so much activity back there, and people are just enjoying themselves, and we're very gratified by it. We got to win a few more games, but hopefully.
a life-size David Wright? Now that's something worth holding on to. All right, now it's time to meet some very special people who take care of our Los Angeles Dodgers.
First woman trainer in MLB.
In a game dominated by men, one woman stands alone. Although Sue Falsone does not swing a bat or throw a pitch, she does play a key role in allowing her teammates to do just that.
Did you know you were the only woman at the time that you came in? I knew that there had been another woman massage therapist, but I knew there had not been an athletic trainer or physical therapist. There just really aren't women athletic trainers in Major League sport. NFL has one woman, but as far as I know, the NBA didn't have anybody, NHL doesn't have anybody, and Major League Baseball didn't have anybody.
In all of Major League Baseball, there is but one woman who's considered a starter.
As far as management goes, I mean, they were great right off the bat. They wanted the right person, and they wanted the right fit, and Stan and Frank McCourt and Ned Clutty were just very instrumental in wanting to find the right person to create the right solutions for the team, and being a part of the entire medical team. And I was just honored that they felt like I could help develop that.
One of her teammates, Andre Ethier, has known Sue for many years and is grateful that she's a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I first met Sue, it's got to be, I want to say 01, 02. I was at ASU at that time playing baseball there, and we had a thing where we were sending a few guys in the fall to go have some training done at Athletes Performance in Tempe, where I went to school, and it happened to be right across the street. So I first met Sue then, and after I got drafted into pro ball, I continued working out there, and unfortunately had the opportunity to do physical rehab with her because of a few injuries I had throughout minor league ball. So I got to know her, a lot better then. And, it's been kind of weird how she's been following me ever since.
I have worked with a lot of professional athletes in Major League Baseball as well as other sports. And so, it's neat to sort of see people come back into your life and, haven't seen people for a couple of years and they were with a different team or, they hadn't been training. And then sort of to have them show up in this setting is so different. It's kind of cool how that circle of life sort of comes around.
Sue has broken into a career once held exclusively by men. Head trainer Stan Conti says she's simply the best.
Her qualifications sort of stood out. She's a physical therapist and athletic trainer, which is a good combination. And she had a unique way of working with the players that I picked up on just in the training room. Well, she had the ability to use her techniques to get people on the field quickly, which is typical than a lot of physical therapists who are doing rehab and looking at long term. When in baseball, we have to get them on the field every night, and if they're hurt, to get them back as quickly as possible. She had that philosophy in her treatment, and that's what really got me thinking about getting her more involved than she was just as a consultant.
What kind of things specifically do you do with them as far as medically and physical therapy and all that? Yeah. From a day-to-day perspective, just trying to focus on how do we keep them feeling as healthy as possible. Obviously it's a long season, and you just don't want to put Band-Aids on everything. You want to make things feel better for the long term. And so, why are they having certain injuries? And what can we do not only to get them out there tonight, but to take this problem away? I think so many athletes function in pain, just thinking that that's sort of normal. And when you start to show them, hey, you can, do this, and they start to not have that pain, their eyes open up a little bit, and it's not normal to live in pain. And so, that can improve people's performance.
So what challenges did Sue encounter in this all-male world?
I think there was a couple players that came in and talked to me about how this was going to work. And I think our response was, don't worry about it. Just if you need somebody, she's the person to see. And she earned her stripes in regards to treating players. And any reluctance by any of the players was very short-lived. And there just never has been really an episode or a problem any more than it's been with a male athletic trainer.
Well, you're a little uneasy anytime you see a woman in the locker room, But, after observing her the first spring, you realize that, she was there to do a job. And then, being last year, I was, 67 years old and aches and pains. I was coming back from a knee thing where I had a knee replacement, and I needed her services. And then at that point in time, I really didn't care how good she was for anybody else, but she made me feel good. She knows her stuff, and and then you hear her discuss with doctors about which muscles are involved, and you realize that this is something more than reading it in a book.
Younger players like Ethier, Kemp, and Loney may have a more open mind to a woman being in the clubhouse, but Sue knows when to keep her distance.
I respect their space. I don't hang out in the clubhouse, and, they know I hang out in the training room, so they're respectful when they come in there. And, I think I just try to give them their space. I don't invade their world as much as I possibly can.
Sue has found that the best way to fit in is to sometimes be the big sister, sometimes be just one of the guys.
Well, there's no question that the Dodgers have accepted you, because I remember last year during the playoffs and the champagne celebration and the hazing of the rookies, you were one of the rookies that got dressed up.
Yes, and they were so kind and so cute. They really could have tossed me under the bus, but they were great. They got me a cat suit, and they got an extra large because they didn't want it to be tight, and they didn't want to make me feel uncomfortable, which I thought was adorable. So that's what I ended up looking like. But I thought it was really sweet that they even took that into consideration of they don't want to make me uncomfortable, but they wanted me to feel part of the team. So that was pretty cool.
I know her personally, just from knowing her all these years now. So, it's great to be able to have a friend and a person who, I guess, not only seen you grow up, but seen you mature and can call you out when you do certain things and let you know if you've changed from, when you were a sophomore in college to now. And so it's nice having her around.
Kind of a big sister for you, I guess.
Yeah, like a big sister feels. So I know her pretty well, and it's a nice relationship we have.
I just saw Nomar yesterday embrace her because, she has a way of making everybody feel like they're the center of attention all the time, and that's not easy. She's got a great sense of humor. She's very easy to be with, and as I say, the most important thing, and baseball is a business, is that guys search her out when they need to have that ache and pain go away.
Are you surprised in 2009 that you are the only woman in here?
Yeah, a little bit. At the same time, there are so many more women athletic trainers and physical therapists and strength coaches now in the high schools and at the collegiate level. It's just a matter of time until we see it more in the professional level. It's just, it's just kind of the last level to catch on. So for the younger guys that went to college, and it's nothing for them to see a female in the training room because their universities had a bunch of women in the training room and in the weight room. So it's really just sort of a paradigm shift for some of the older guys or older coaches that have been around. But for the younger guys, it's old hat.
Yeah, and I hadn't thought of that either. You're right. I mean, in some of the other places, women are more, they're seen more and they're around more. But, from the perspective of just noticing that you're the only one, it just seems like that's crazy, right? I mean,
I know, it is. It's crazy. I had a friend say, I never see you in the dugout. Do something that makes you stand out. I was like, well, I don't know how else I can stand out more, but okay.
In the end, there's two things you should know about Sue Falsone. She's a Buffalo Bills fan.
Yeah, I grew up in Buffalo, so, by law, you have to be a Buffalo Bills fan.
And she's still just a girl.
Yeah, for sure. I'll go shopping, come back with tons of pairs of shoes, just something to make sure I stay connected to that feminine side.
Well, there's no doubt that Sue takes care of our Los Angeles Dodgers in the training room, but who takes care of the guys in the locker room? Let's meet Mitch and Jerry.
While the Dodger players take care of the action during the game, who takes care of them at Dodger Stadium? Mitch and Jerry, two names you may not recognize, but for the Los Angeles Dodgers and their opponents, these men play a major role in taking care of the guys off the field.
I should have been here longer than all the players, but some of the coaches, like Mariana Duncan was a rookie the year that I came here. It was 1985. I actually had a friend that was a bat boy for the Dodgers, and we played baseball at Pasadena City College, and he goes, "Hey, Mitch, you haven't bothered me like everybody else has about doing this, so what do you think?" And I go, "Yeah, I'd love to go." So we were unpacking the Dodgers from they came back from Houston, and then opening day was the next day, and they asked me if I wanted to suit up, and I said sure. So I was out throwing with Pedro Guerrero out in left field and opening day, and there's 56,000 people looking right at you, you think, but they're looking at everybody else but you.
The locker room, the players' second home. So who takes care of this manor?
What's it like to take care of these guys?
That's good. I mean, pretty much you kind of want them to take care of everything like you think you would take care of everything. But you know what? I'm kind of a slob at times, but I mean, it's just a lot of guys. It's like a lot of kids just picking up their stuff in their room. Like their mom's always yelling at you, and so we just give them a dirty look, and they, okay, we'll throw it in that hamper. We'll make it to the hamper instead of the floor.
So you're the guy that gets to yell at them.
Yeah, but it's all in fun. I mean, we enjoy doing what we do, and I got a good staff here, so. You do. I really do. I'm very blessed to have the guys that I do. Alex Torres and Jose Castillo. They do a great job here.
Throughout the years, thinking about the different personalities that have been in here, it must have been difficult for you to say goodbye to some of the guys as they've come and gone.
Yeah, I guess at times it has. There was a trade that we made with the Pittsburgh Pirates back in '85, and it was R.J. Reynolds for Bill Madlock. And I felt myself being really attached to R.J. Reynolds because he's such a great guy. But, my boss told me, he said, never get attached to anybody. They're here one day and gone the next. Yeah. So, but, I mean, you definitely, it's kind of like a family. Very much so. Over the 25 years I've done it, there's always somebody that comes back from those early times. And it's just like you saw him yesterday. Yeah. You remember what went on years ago, so.
I know that throughout spring training, that was such an intense time, especially being out in Arizona and then coming back here and getting them ready. And then you were here for World Baseball Classic for a couple of days. What is the travel like? I mean, it's so extensive all the time.
Travel is pretty crazy. I wouldn't recommend it for everybody. Yeah. It's like basically we're here for 7 days and gone for 7 days. Yeah. And what it entails is we have to pack them up, right, put it on a truck. From the truck, get it to the airplane. From the airplane, wherever we land, to another truck, to the hotel and the ballpark. And then if you have many cities you go through that same routine the whole way. And make sure that you bring everything back with you that you came with,
Because, you're the guy that takes care of everybody else. And you've been here for so long. Just talk about that.
Well, I'm fortunate to do this. It's my 31st year. And believe me, I've got a great crew. You're nothing without your crew, and I'm lucky to have them, and they're super guys, and I'm very fortunate to work with these great people, the McCourts, Ned Coletti, Kim Ing, and it's a blaster. We love it.
Jerry, how did you get started doing this? What was your first experience coming into Dodger Stadium?
1978 was when I got hired. About 76 or 77, I'd come in here and sneak my way onto the field and ask for a job. I knew who the equipment managers were, Jim Huey and Nobi Kawano, and after being a persistent kid for 2 years, I'd ask them if they never needed help, and they started me on as a part-time bat boy, and I thank them both to this day for that.
And you've been here ever since?
Since Mother's Day of '78, yes.
Wow. When you have new guys coming in here all the time, every few days, what's the most difficult part of your job?
The most difficult part of our job is keeping these guys happy with food, because we have to totally change our menu and like I said, pretty much keep these guys happy, not put the same stuff out and kind of mix it. And now the way things are going, they're very health conscious. We're pushing away from fast food and stuff like that, so that gets a little bit tough.
Over the years, have you made, I'm sure, bonded with a lot of these guys from other teams, made friends with special guys? Or?
God, it's hard to single out many, but Mike Soch and Bob Welcher, two guys that I'm very close with, and I think the world, but there's a long list of them.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mitch was telling us that, he always didn't want to get too attached to guys because they leave, but you're the guy that deals with people that come and go all the time, so.
Yeah, that's kind of the tough part about it, and seeing people at the end of their career get released and stuff, but unfortunately it's part of the game.
What's the best part about this job for you from your perspective?
Pretty much your everyday experiences with different people that you come in contact with. I mean, I've met 5 different presidents while being here, starting with Nixon, and just because we're in L.A., Hollywood, there's a lot of those type of people that are here too, and they're fans of the game. They want to be baseball players. The baseball players want to be rock stars. Yeah. So, Yeah,
we noticed you and Steve Perry are friends.
Yeah, he's quite a guy. For the last 5 years or so, I've known him, but he's a Giants fan, and I'm working on him.
There's no doubt that Mitch and Jerry are a very special part of the Dodger family.
Now, you may not know our next guest by name, but I guarantee you've seen his work. John Suhu is the man that captures all of those Dodgers special moments behind the lens.
In baseball, the hitters see the ball, the fans see the play, but one man sees it all behind the lens.
I had begun working for Andy Bernstein, who is the NBA photographer, and so I was shooting the Clippers and Lakers for him, doing all the black and white for Clippers and Lakers at the Sports Arena and Forum. Spending time in the darkroom processing and printing all this stuff and shooting some of those games. And in 1985-ish, he got the contract for the Dodgers, and so I was brought on to help him with that while he did the NBA job.
It's just interesting because to be in one place for this many years, you've lasted longer than players and managers and owners.
Well, don't tell anybody, but I've done my best just to do my job and try to make the most history as I can within my photography.
John Suhu has been telling the story of great moments in Los Angeles sports history for over 20 years. As a regular staff photographer for the Los Angeles Dodgers, he looks for the moments that many of us might miss.
Well, the benefit of working for a team is that I have the trust of the team, and so I won't go beyond that. However, on the other side of that, I'm trying, as a photojournalist, to get stuff that's different. I'm not looking for the stuff that's between the lines. I'm looking for the outside the lines. So whether that's on the airplane or in the hotel or in the clubhouse or the dugout or the bullpen or you name it, I have access to go, and that's what the Dodgers have given me, and I have given them back that trust. During the game, I'm just trying to cover the whole thing. So if I could hit some guy smirking, fine. If I can get the play at second base, fine. I'm just always looking for something, but I don't want to miss what the meat and potatoes are on the field, based on trying to find, Joe Torre looking grimacing.
While some athletes consider the camera to be intrusive, being a photojournalist, John has earned the trust of players by sometimes being invisible.
There are teams that are pretty new, and like this one, we have some of the young kids who know who I am. They saw me when I shot their minor league headshots back in Vero Beach before we came to Camelback. They know who I am. It's just some of these other veterans that have just gotten to our club. They don't really know. They don't know anything about me. They don't know whether they can trust me or not. So it just takes time from other players to tell other players that I'm okay, because I'm not there to. Anything I do is only going to go back towards them, because they're going to get these pictures when they're done playing. These are going to be on their mantles of them holding their kids, or these private moments I enjoy shooting because I know that I have made a lot of mantles.
And while John has shot literally millions of pictures, he does have his favorites.
Well, the Gibson home run was obviously the biggest, one of the bigger ones, but off of that I was able to, through spring training, I was able to go up to the space shuttle launching up in Cape Canaveral, and so...
And that was recently, wasn't it?
Well, back in Vero Beach, it was back in 1989. That was the one I shot it, and it was just the most phenomenal thing I've ever shot.
Well, I was going to bring that up as well. You've been all over the world with the Dodgers, traveled with them. Any particular places? I know you went to China just a couple years ago, and
For what I can remember, I mean, a lot of the 24 years are a blur. I don't. There are so many things that I've covered. 2/3 of it has been on film, and this last third has been in digital. So the digital I can find on my computer, and it's not a real issue. But even with the digital images, I've shot so many events last year. The 50th anniversary was just the overwhelming season to shoot.
it was, yes. Yeah. For us as well, because I felt like we were from the Rose Parade all the way up till the end. It was just like, oh my gosh, we're still here.
Absolutely, and it was obviously I'm glad we did it. It was phenomenal. The Coliseum game, was the epitome of it.
Has there ever been a player like a Sandy Koufax or somebody like that where you've gone, oh, I've never seen this guy before, or just you couldn't wait to take his picture?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have. I appreciate whatever they did. That was great.
Yeah.
The most probably excitement was probably doing this photograph I have over here of the three announcers, because we're all three my friends. I consider them my friends, and they knew me by my name, and so it was. I get more out of that because the personal relationship. The star factor is I don't really. Maybe the boss. That'd probably be the biggest one. The most exciting thing I ever had was meeting the boss.
162 games is a grueling schedule for anyone. For John Suhu, every day is a new opportunity to get that one shot.
John, is there any trick you have to get in the right pose, like the right part of the swing or the throw?
No, it's all hit and miss. It's really hit and miss. All the timing in the world don't make any difference.
But there's a timing thing you've kind of worked out over the years?
It's more like a feel, because some guys swing differently than others, and their point of contact is a lot more difficult or different than the other guy. I have still not gotten the ball on the bat of Manny.
Really?
Amber, my intern, came and shot the first game that she came and shot him playing. She's got the ball laying right on the bat. It's all, you've probably seen it in one of her publications here.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to duplicate that. I can't get it. I don't know how she did it.
So it's luck, you think?
It's a lot of luck, but it's a lot of skill. I mean, you still have to be able to do it. So if it's in the same frame, it's one thing, but to have it on the bat, that's like impossible.
And although John has built a lifetime of memories on film, he has also built many friendships along the way.
I personally feel for Manny because, I'm just Joe Photographer, and who's the first person he hugged off the plane in Camelback was me. And so I was conflicted with whether to shoot or hug.
Me in the locker room, so I can relate to that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because you get kind of like, okay, well, am I a photographer or am I a friend? And I really like that friend part. I mean, I have a lot of friends throughout the league that used to come, play with the Dodgers. Marquise Grissom, we had a late night meal at Conrad's in Pasadena. We hung out for a while. I got to hear what's going on in his life. And this is what it's all about, is the people. It's not the stats. It's not the things that the press box is supposed to be all about, and fingering things and finding facts. I like friends. I like having friends, and this is where I've developed a lot of friends.
One of the biggest characters in this game has got to be Tommy Lasorda. I know you've had many pictures that you've taken of him over the years.
Yeah, I have enough pictures of Tommy. I think a lot of his walls in his office are a lot of what I've shot. But yeah, he's been a character. Vin Scully's been another. I mean, who else can say they ride, next to Vin Scully on the bus going to the Dodger our away games. He's got all kinds of stories to tell, and if I could just remember them.
During the game, some say that John has the best seat in the house. Well, maybe.
Has your camera been hit by a ball?
Been hit. I've been hit. 24 years I've been hit.
Yeah, I bet.
What's the very best part of your job?
Best part of my job is the people. The best part of my job is seeing all of you every day. It's my second family at this point, because my family I see more of you than I do my family. When I go with a team, it takes up a lot of my time, but I get to hang out with some real good people. Joe Torre is another one. He takes us to dinner once in a while, and just a phenomenal person. So
you must have a very understanding family.
They really are.
That's all the time that we have for you on today's show. We know that New York has great sports teams and great shopping, and that's where I'm going. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. I'm Maria Serrao.